the wind and rain are not going to be separated. They're pretty much coming right at the same time, even though it's less humid today. Actually, no, it is more humid. But the air is also a little bit colder aloft today. But look, the winds are starting to come in. They're not too strong. Keep in mind, this activity has 50 to 60 mile an hour winds. I just checked TDWR a few moments ago. There was an area of 60 mile an hour winds. So right now the winds are 10 to 15, but they're about to get 60 plus. That building right there is obscured in a downpour that's coming in right now. So I'm gonna go under the awning. Yeah, starting to rain now. The strong winds haven't even come in. It's already raining. Yeah, so this is going to be the downburst type. This is going to be a freaking downburst because this is a cell. This isn't a squall line. Yeah, now the really strong winds are coming in. Whoa, okay. Here they come. Here comes the gust front. It already started raining before the winds came. So, yeah, these are very, very dang strong. Whoa! Okay. Yep. All right. Very strong winds here in Far Rockaway. Here comes a down. Oh, and we got blowing dust. Yeah, very strong. In fact, if you look closely, you can actually see the sheets of rain blowing sideways from left to right. Yeah, there even might be some small hail with this. Radar didn't look like there's going to be any big hail, but small hail is definitely a possibility. Pea size, maybe. If there's going to be any hail, probably pea to maybe half-inch sized. So very small hail, but hail is definitely possible with a storm like this. There's a microburst. Yeah, microburst. All right, yep. All right, getting out of the rain. If it's going to hail, it's going to do it right now. Yeah, very damaging winds. Damaging winds are starting to come in now. Yeah, winds are looking to be about 40 to 50. Maybe even, okay, yeah. Yeah, very strong winds. Strong to potentially damaging winds are coming in here in Far Rockaway. All right, definitely getting a very intense downburst right now. Wow. Very intense downburst. Keep in mind, this activity is coming in pretty quick. Already doesn't look too bad down there. But you can also see clearing over there. United States. Oh. I can barely stand. Okay, that was a very powerful gust. That was like 40 to 50 at my back. Poor seagull. Whoa. The terminal Doppler was showing 60 mile an hour winds. It looked like it was going to go just to my north, those the strongest winds. Yeah, but if you look down there, see how strong those winds are. Yeah. The wind tunneling effect is very noticeable here. Very heavy rains coming out right now. And here's a kicker. This actually might be the weaker part of the storm. The more intense part actually might be over there, just north of my location. A thunderstorm. Just an ordinary summer thunderstorm. But that's very intense. Of course. Yeah. This is a severe thunderstorm. I haven't checked if there's a warning yet. But yeah, this definitely should be warned. Yeah. For winds. I would say 60. Yeah, 60 mile an hour winds, I would say, and hail up to the size of pennies, I would say. Maybe pea-sized hail. Poor seagull. Oh, man. He's flying away now, but I would not fly that. It's too windy. Yeah, that's your stronger part of the storm over there. All right, let me check the radar again. What the heck? 0? How did I just go from 11 viewers to 0? Must be the internet. The internet must have crashed because of the storm. All right, let me check the radar, just in case. Check the radar for just a second. All right, actually, yeah. Remember that part of the storm? Looks like we're going to be entering it. This isn't Hong Kong. This is Queens, New York. This is essentially the hood. Well, not the hood, but yeah, it's not too far from there. That's Far Rockaway. This is Rockaway Beach. But yeah, the strongest part of the thunderstorm, just with the wind wise, went right through the radar site of JFK. 60-mile-per-hour winds on the radar. 60 mile an hour. Oh! Wow, that was close. That was about a half mile away, right on the ocean. What the hell are they doing flying, taking off in this kind of weather? What are you thinking? Are you crazy? No, that is not okay. And what is Tower doing what the actual fuck are you doing taking off in this kind of weather? Idiots. Sorry for the language, but you can't be taking off during a severe thunderstorm. No, absolutely not. You flew right through the middle of a severe thunderstorm, right after 60-mile-an-hour winds went through JFK. Yeah, and now thunder and lightning everywhere. What are you thinking? Thank God they made it through safely. Wow. That was not smart on the part of the pilots or the control tower for letting them out of here. Very unsafe. Very, very unsafe. This is literally the part of the storm that produces microbursts and possible tornadoes because we're right near the back edge. And look how windy it is right now. Like, literally. You do not take off in this kind of weather. That was a huge risk for not only people in the air, but people on the ground as well. Issue isn't the lightning, it's the wind. You know, what brings down most planes during thunderstorms? Microbursts. And there was one just west of here, just like freaking 15 minutes ago. I'm at Rockaway. I'm in Rockaway right now. You know? And look, another area. Yeah, this storm is really intensifying right now. Yeah. This storm is exploding right now. You see how much lightning there is right now? The storm is rapidly intensifying. Plus, there's another area. Look at that. You see that wall right there? Yeah. I don't know if you could tell, but you see that? You see it looks pretty clear, and then down there it looks kind of obscured. Okay, that's another area of very heavy rain. Kind of the back edge, what I would call the tail end Charlie of this cell. And it's kind of going to pass just to my south and over me. Yeah, and if you look over there, it's some clearing, but you could also see the fall streaks between the... Alright. A lot of lightning with this activity. Yeah, there's some fall streaks over there. Yeah, a lot of lightning now on the backside. This is not a squall line, by the way. So this is not an ascending front to rear inflow like you would get with squall lines. This is because the storm is intensifying right now. Yeah, most of the lightning now is over here and back. Yep. Wow. I'm in New York City. New York City, guys. City of New York. I don't live here, I'm visiting someone. But yeah, I live in a different part of the city. Further north, but yeah. Wasn't actually expecting this, even though they did show a marginal. Yesterday was a slight risk day. Yesterday was just wind and some lightning on the backside. But today, Very impressive cell. And look at that. If you look closely, you could actually see the clouds and also the streaks. Oh, so I think that might come over. Where do you live? Unless you're east of New York City, like Long Island, then yeah. If you're not in the New York City area or east of New York City, you should be fine. Yeah, a lot of lightning. That is a lot of lightning, and I'm really sorry for the swearing, but those pilots really should not have done that, especially when 60-mile-an-hour winds just went through the airport. Yeah, and even though the worst of the winds were over, they should have sat and waited it out. Not smart. See, there's no other ground stop. There's a ground stop there. Now, there should be a ground stop. If it was just a regular garden variety thunderstorm, okay. But this is not. This is a severe thunderstorm. Even before, when I was live streaming this, the severe thunderstorm warning had not been issued yet. Yep, and here comes that back area I was talking about, that very intense back area. Or developing back area. But look, clearing, that's blue skies. They're all, like you're seeing, it's blue skies. It looks kind of gray because of all the rain we're in. We're in the core of this back end right now. It didn't look very intense. The part that we got initially was the more intense part. But you saw all that lightning, meaning the storm is still really intensifying. So I'm going to check the radar, especially now it's going inland, meaning it's getting all that heat and humidity from the land, going into like Valley Stream. Right now, it probably should be over like Valley Stream, just north of Oceanside, going in that direction. Yeah, and here's the thing, I want to be a broadcaster. And when I'm on air, you never swear. You don't ever swear when you're on air. This is different. But I will probably have to edit this out, the swearing. Once I upload it, I'm going to edit it out. Yeah. Broadcasting is very professional. Oh, well, the worst part is over now. It's just rain now, with occasional cloud to grounds. Yeah. I'm going to check the radar again, so you might see some buffering for a few seconds. So just bear with me, please. Apparently I'm gonna, well, backside is not moving too quickly. Okay, we're gonna be dealing with this for a little bit longer, about maybe in the next 20 minutes of lightning and just very heavy but vertical rain now, not horizontal like in the beginning when we had 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. No damage that I can tell, nothing down, so strong, potentially damaging winds. There might be a couple trees down, maybe more likely limbs and branches from what I felt. But the more intense part of the storm was north towards the terminal Doppler weather radar. That's where the strongest winds went. So there could be some damage in southern Queens, north of the Rockaway. I mean, there definitely will be some damage over Rockaway, but most of it will be probably Valley Stream and Howard Beach. There's probably going to be some wind damage, a couple trees down. Power lines might be down. Yeah, very intense storm today. Saturday, August 8th, 2026. This is what I would call a garden variety severe thunderstorm. Severe, but not like exceptionally bad. Like I've seen worse, but impressive nevertheless. The shelf cloud coming in was very impressive. Ooh, not too far away, lightning. Probably a mile or less over the ocean. Yep. I didn't see the bolt. Yeah, I just saw the flash. But yeah, a lot of lightning with this activity. And I'm not wet. I'm just a little damp because I was under here for most of the storm. All the dampness was from the wind that was coming at my back from here when it was being funneled down, when it was slamming against the building and being funneled down here. So the winds were coming this way. Then they were being slammed against the building and forced back down and out. Kind of like a wind tunneling effect. Or there's a name for it. It was a deflection, like a little mini microclimate, just a deflection of the wind by the faces of the building. Same thing happened during Hurricane Sandy. So if you watch one of my first videos, you would notice that I was standing facing west, but the gate was facing east. Even though the winds were going from my back from east to west, the apartment building that was, so there, it was in a courtyard, right? So there were two buildings, one in my left back and one in my front. So what would happen is the strong east winds of 40 to 50 to 60 miles an hour would slam against the building, be forced down in like a little microburst, and then forced back west. And it's why the gate was knocked down towards the east from the direction of the winds that were just above the buildings. The general direction. Whoa. Yeah. Very electrical. Very electrical. Wow. I'm actually surprised there wasn't any hail, considering the reflectivities were pretty intense. Yeah, I'm going to check the radar. Oh. So, Afishai, Circle 3, where are you from? Oh, Cali, yeah. The only storms you got to contend with are your winter storms. Those when you get your usually severe weather and tornadoes are usually in the winter. And if you're inland, occasional monsoon thunderstorms. That's pretty much it. Main threat, of course, is earthquakes. And if you're in like north, like closer to like what is it? Yosemite, you have some volcanoes there. You have your Inyo Mano volcanic field and the Long Valley caldera. And yes, Mammoth Mountain is part of the Inyo Mano volcanic field, which goes from Mono Lake down to Mammoth Mountain. Long Valley caldera and that chain are part of the same volcanic system, same body of magma, which is caused by an extensional rift that was caused by subduction of the Phaleron plate, or possibly it's related to tectonics, not a hot spot like Yellowstone. In fact, the Yellowstone hotspot is responsible for the Cascadia, for the Columbia River flood basalts. And even during the time of the Columbia River flood basalts, there was actually some supervolcanic eruptions that were happening in an area of thicker crust, because when you have thick crust, the magma, which is normally basaltic, would become more silica rich, which means holds on to more gas. Silica forces magma to retain more volatiles in its chamber. It makes the magma sticky. Instead of fluidy, it makes it sticky, which forces the gas inside the magma, which then causes it to erupt explosively, which is why you started having the volcanic chains going all the way from Oregon, Idaho, and then up through present-day Wyoming. In fact, the last caldera-forming eruption was not 640,000 years ago. There is a little-known eruption that most people do not know or talk about. It is called the West Thumb Caldera. West, west, like you're going west. West Thumb Caldera, the west thumb of Yellowstone Lake, is actually a caldera formed by a very powerful eruption only 150,000 years ago. The eruption was a VEI of a 7, a low-end VEI 7, about the same size as Tambora in 1815. It was not a super eruption, though some people do consider VEI 7s to be supers. Really, it's 8 and up, or low-end super eruptions to be 250 cubic kilometers and up. And the last one of those low-end super eruptions, if you consider that one, was the Kikai caldera, which erupted in the last 10,000 years. Almost all supervolcanoes, every one of them, is caused by subduction, the same process that makes mountains like Mount St. Helens, Rainier, Mount Shasta, caused by subduction. Your Cascade volcanoes are actually caused by the same process that produces nearly all of the world's supervolcanoes, including the most powerful one of them all, Toba, also caused by subduction, not a hotspot. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, almost all supervolcanoes are caused by water. Yes, water is the secret ingredient to subduction volcanism. It's specifically the extraction of the water. So when the water is extracted from the subducting oceanic slab, the water, the extraction of the water, lowers the melting point of the rock. So let's say the rock would have melted at 1200 degrees Celsius. Well, now it will melt at 1000 or 1100 degrees Celsius. So you lowered the melting point of the magma, which causes then that molten material to migrate upwards and to form volcanoes, a chain of volcanoes. And sometimes if the crust is too thick, the magma could just sit there and accumulate to the point of a very, very large eruption. That's how you get your subduction-caused supervolcanoes. And also you have something known as back arc volcanism, which produce calcium-based or calc-ali volcanoes or potassium-rich magmas, such as Campi Flegrei, Vesuvius, Ischia, and in the Pacific, Iwo Jima. Sakurajima is not. That is more traditional silica, traditional volcano like Mount St. Helens. Sakurajima produces, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, basaltic andesite magma, and andesite, not potassium. This is more alkali, which is more commonly associated with traditional subduction. Same with Mount Pinatubo, which is dacite like Mount St. Helens. Same magma type. Pinatubo, Mount St. Helens, identical magma type. Anyway, Iwo Jima, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but yes, California is really cool. Much better than boring old New York, I'll tell you that. And though the weather is more interesting, the geology will knock your socks off in California, especially with always earthquakes. And if you're really cool, I mean, if you're really interested, you could actually find areas along the Hayward Fault where street corners, like one area could actually be offset. Like this right here, you see how this is right next to each other? This could be like here, and this would still be here. And you could see where the seismic creep is occurring. Yeah, it's a phenomenon known as seismic creep, and that's actually a very good phenomenon because it actually prevents earthquakes because you're constantly releasing stress. Anyway, I have to go now. The storm is over. There's still thunder, which is off to my east. Still, I would not go outside because you could get a bolt from the blue. And yes, this is what I do for work for now. Really, I want to do broadcasting, but really hard to do that in New York, which is why I am planning on moving out as soon as I graduate. Well, as soon as I get hired. If I could find a job out of the city, I am moving out of New York City. And I might even look for internships in a smaller market like Oklahoma City, even Tulsa, even Lubbock, and even Armadillo. Yeah, I would look for a job anywhere. I don't care the market size. I just want to do a job in broadcasting because it's been a lifelong passion, like since I was in elementary school, to forecast the weather on TV. And not just that, but do storm chasing. And West Texas is perfect for that. Perfect, just perfect. Anyway, thank you for watching, and till next time, I will do uploads as well, not just live streams. Hopefully I could return to a schedule where I record and edit videos, because I am trying to get back into doing traditional recording and editing using Camtasia Studios, because I just tried to get a job doing that. Anyway, thank you all and good night.